They have said EasyJet has been advised of an air traffic control systems failure affecting UK airspace, which is currently causing disruption to flying programmes for airlines operating to and from the UK, and I believe anything flying generally within UK airspace. We are providing customers on cancelled flights with the option to transfer their flight free of charge or receive a refund, and recommend that all passengers flying with us today, regardless of their destination, check the status of their flight on our flight tracker for real-time information. This comes after, in fact, the guest at the very start of the show, Alex Mucheres, who's an aviation expert, said that this would be considered essentially an act of God, if you will, and that very few airlines may offer compensation. So good on EasyJet for making sure that people whose flights are cancelled will be compensated in some way or another. Well, to find out what is going on and where we are at now, let's speak to Julian Bray, who is another aviation expert. Julian, are things looking any better? Is this going to be a massive domino effect that's going to affect flights for days and days to come?
Yes, good afternoon. In fact, what's happened, they have actually remedied the problem.
Ooh.
So what happened this morning was that they identified the problem 8 o'clock at 8 a.m., but they had 4 hours worth of data in the system. So by noon, they said, oh, we can't fix this, so we have to go critical. And they identified the problem in the air planning, the route planning part of the overall system. So it's not everything that's gone down, it is the preparation of flight plans. So they had to revert to a manual system for that. So having done that, they put the technicians in and they went through all the systems, and literally about 10 minutes ago, they said, we have remedied the system. Now, this doesn't mean it's fixed, because there is a backlog and the planes are out of position. Crews are nearly out of hours. There is still a very big problem out there. So people should keep in touch with their airlines and their representatives and see if we can get them back to the UK or away on their holidays.
And have we had any sort of, I've just seen the statements here from National Air Traffic Services saying that it's identified and remedied the technical issue affecting air traffic control systems, but they haven't seemed to reveal what it was, whether this was a problem, a discrepancy in poorly put together computer software, whether it was a human error, or whether, potentially worst case scenario, there was some sort of infiltration or hacking of the system by any sort of outside agent.
You're absolutely right. They're playing their cards very close to their chest. All they will say is that they have remedied the system, which is this drawing up of the air plans. Every flight has to be planned. They have to have a piece of paper. They have to have a computer code. Otherwise, that aircraft is not going to move. So what they've been doing this manually. They went over the manual system and carried on. So they got a few away, which is quite good. Air traffic control didn't close down the airspace completely, but the rest is down to logistics, making sure that you can actually get your aircraft onto the stand and that the previous aircraft can actually leave that stand, or you've got to park them somewhere. A lot of aircraft have been diverted to other airports on the continent, so we'll have to see what happens there. But there's still, I would say there's still another 48 hours worth of disruption somehow for some people. Some airlines will fare better than others, but really it is still a problem.
I mean, what can passengers expect if they have been significantly disrupted? It may be they've been put on another flight, but they've missed a very important appointment, or they've been charged by something else because they failed to make a certain date, they're late for their holiday. I mean, EasyJet coming out saying that they will try and compensate passengers if they can't get on a new flight free of charge. Do you think other airlines are likely to follow suit?
Other airlines are going to play hard to get. They all do, but there are compensation rules out there and they should be followed. But the first thing you must do is get hold of your travel insurers and to make sure that if there's any resource there that can be used, but certainly follow it up and make sure you keep a diary. A video diary is very good. Log the times, log your expenses, keep all your receipts if you've had to pay out money so that you can actually claim it. So lots of documents, lots of videos, so you've got all the evidence when you make a claim, and hopefully it will be resolved. But I'm really pleased that they've managed to remedy it, and so some people can get away, and the other people returning from their holidays, they can come back without too much disruption.
And very briefly, before we go to a break, Julian, I mean, this is seems relatively unprecedented. I think the last time this happened was well over 10 years ago. How concerned are you about this glitch in the system reappearing?
Well, it's like everything else with computers, isn't it? So it could be as simple as a cleaner pulling a plug out, for example. I have known a whole network go down because that happened. Cleaner came in with her vacuum cleaner, unplugged this plug, and left it unplugged, and the whole thing went down.
Gosh.
And that was a major advertising agency. But the point is, they have got their people on site, and they say they've remedied it. Have they repaired it? We don't know, but they've got a remedy. It's in place. Well, and so hopefully people are going to get away.
Thanks for that. Julian, fantastic getting your expert insight into this. Julian Bray, an aviation expert. Time for a short break now.